Alright guys, I know it's been another long break between parts. The 21st season of Power Rangers has already ended, and the 22nd one is starting as we speak. But here I am, with my last part of the top 20 seasons of Power Rangers, just working off the first 20, not including Super Mega Force, because it'd be a bit awkward to put it in now, but here's my top 3 favorite seasons. These seasons are awesome, best of the best, full recommendations, check them out. Okay, now on with the list.
Alright then, it's morphin' time!
After much deliberation, my third favorite season of Power Rangers is the final season of the Zordon Era, Power Rangers in Space. The suits, Megazords, and the theme song are all awesome and feel very unique to this season, especially a theme which gives a feeling of having saved the best, the grandest for last. As far as characters go, the Red Ranger is Andros, a humanoid alien who acts as both the leader and mentor to the team, and gets most of his drama from trying to find his long-lost sister, and learning to accept help from the other Rangers, which he was initially reluctant to do because of what happened to Zane, the Silver Ranger. Speaking of Zane, well, he is not one of the best extra Rangers in the series, and leans more towards comedy than brooding or just being a badass. He is still a really good character that can have some more dramatic moments. The rest of the Rangers this season are carried over from the previous season, Power Rangers Turbo. And while they aren't as great of characters as Andros or Zane, they are at least better than they were in Turbo, and the team as a whole definitely gains a sense of camaraderie by the end of the season. TJ, the Blue Ranger, who was the leader last season, is totally okay with Andros taking over, and helps him throughout the season. Carlos, the Black Ranger, is kind of bland, but gets 2 very good character episodes. Ashley, again, is a bit bland, but she does have a relationship with Andros that makes her more interesting. Cassie, well, she has one pretty good line at one point, I think. Yeah, that's why this season isn't any higher, but still, it does many other things amazingly. Like the villains. The main villain, Astronema, is amazing. Not only is she intimidating, has a cool design, and actually tends to use very competent plans, she also has a 3-dimensional personality. In lots of other kids' TV shows, any teenage girl villains would be completely over-the-top stereotypes whose evil plans only revolve around shopping, like in Guy or some petty BS like that. But not Astronema. Being a teenage girl is still certainly part of her character, but it does not define her. Then we have Ecliptor, an awesome general. In addition to just looking cool, Ecliptor, similar to Villain X from Lost Galaxy, is an honorable villain with extreme loyalty to Astronema, who he raised like a father. Ecliptor's foil, Darkonda, instead has no sense of honor, just loves being evil and hates Ecliptor, which still is pretty awesome. Even the foot soldiers this season, the Quantrons, have a sleek design and tend to be more effective. Sure, Elgar is here as well, but his role is very much reduced from his role in Turbo. And to balance out his annoying moments, we have the legendary Psycho Rangers.
You were right. We're not Power Rangers. Who are you then? You'll find out soon enough. We're the Psycho Rangers. We're faster than you, smarter than you,
Stronger than you. But we're evil.
Do I even need to say anything? The Psycho Rangers are just pure awesome. In Space once again features the comedic genius of Bulk and Skull, now joined by Professor Phenomenus. While they are not in a lot of episodes, they do at least have a larger role than in Lost Galaxy, and are hilarious every time they are on screen. There are 2 team-up episodes and 1 crossover episode this season. Both of the team-up episodes this season are just one-person team-ups, and the first is Blue Ranger to the Rescue. As the name suggests, this episode features the return of Justin, the Blue Turbo Ranger, and is just a decent episode that sort of ties up some loose ends from the previous season, and gives Justin a heartfelt goodbye. I prefer the other team-up, which is with Adam, who was a Ranger for most of the Zordon era, and morphs as the Black Mighty Morphin Power Ranger, as he helps Carlos regain lost confidence after he injured Cassie during a battle. Shell Shocked is a crossover episode with the live-action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles TV show The Next Mutation, and is probably the weakest episode of this season due to the male turtles having basically the same personality and voice, and bad lip-syncing, some stupid plot holes, and just being an all-around dull episode. Okay, spoilers from this point forward. Partway through the season, it is revealed that Astronema is actually Andros' long-lost sister Corone, and while this is really obvious since a few episodes before, it is handled very well with the siblings gradually realizing and accepting their relationship. Though, unfortunately, she is later recaptured and brainwashed to be pure evil. Now, I know that I have praised quite a few of the season finales of this franchise, but this one is truly special and acts as a finale for the entire series up to this point. Astronema, along with many villains from the past few seasons, launches a full-scale invasion of the galaxy. Andros goes to Astronema's ship and tries to talk some sense into her, but they end up fighting and it seems like Astronema dies. Zordon then convinces Andros to kill him because it would create a wave of energy powerful enough to destroy or purify all of the villains that are a part of the invasion. Now this scene is well done and comes with a lot of emotional weight. Andros kills a character that the audience has seen do so much good, and right after we think he killed his sister. Though I can't help but think that it might have had more of an impact if Zordon was killed by a character that the audience had actually seen interact with him. Meanwhile, the more epic side of this conclusion happens with Bulk and Skull. But first, let's go back a bit. In the first season, we followed the 6 smartest kids in the class, who included a genius, the coolest guy, a great leader, the strongest guy, the popular and beautiful girl, and, really nice girl. Yeah. In addition, they all managed to be involved in several hobbies, volunteer for various causes, and still maintain high grades. On the other hand, we have Bulk and Skull, who made mistakes, struggled in school, as well as struggling to keep a job. Overall, they were far from perfect, but throughout the Zordon era, we have seen that they are good people, and today it is not perfect role models that lead the charge for civilians helping the Rangers. It is them, the Everymen. Oh, and Andros' sister is still alive. The season ends with a happy note of everyone being on the ship flying off together. Obviously, In Space comes with an incredibly high recommendation. The only very slight hesitation to recommending it comes from the fact that you really have to watch a good portion of the rest of the Zordon era to get the full enjoyment and experience out of this season. But to be honest, I would more recommend you watch the rest of the Zordon era, though, I mean, it's up to you if you want to skip good portions of the filler, for the sake of getting the full enjoyment out of this season, because it's that good that I'd recommend even going through some of the seasons that I have not recommended or that I've said are pretty bad. It's In Space. It's just that awesome.
Alright then, it's morphin' time!
Number 2 is Power Rangers Time Force. The suits and theme song are both really great, though the Zords and Megazords are lacking. Aside from the awesome Q-Rex, they come off as bland and generic. The Rangers this season really feel like a family, which makes me like the blander ones, Lucas and Katie, as they still work well in the roles they are filling in this group of close-knit friends. Trip is the little brother of the group, naive and a bit awkward, but simultaneously admirable in his innocence. The best characters of the main team are Jen, who's a great leader who's overcoming the death of Alex and accepting Wes into the unit give her depth. Wes is my favorite character of the season, a charismatic lead who learns as well as teaches the values of self-sacrifice and making your own destiny. Admittedly, the first time I watched the series, I strongly disliked how much of a stereotype Wes's father was, and well, rewatching, he still is to some extent, and I can appreciate the dynamic between the two characters, and I like how you can see that he is actually hurt by Wes rejecting the destiny he created for him. He still does care. Plus, his redemption scene is very well done.
trying to destroy my son. If I had known that serum could help you, I would have poured it down the drain myself.
And now you want to protect your son, the Red Ranger. No, you don't fool me. I know for a fact that you threw him out of your life.
I tried to plan my son's life, but he took charge of his own destiny, and I'll always be proud of him for doing it.
Oh, how touching. The loving father.
The sixth Ranger this season is Eric, a semi-badass loner who acts as a great foil for Wes. The main villain of this season, Ransik, is one of the best. In addition to a great design and fighting skills to back it up, Ransik's actor just gets so into it that the role gives us an incredibly enjoyable and intimidating evil villain. Nadira is a teenage girl villain stereotype, but she does have some personality, and Ransik does care for her here. Ransik's General Frax is a great tragic villain, and his backstabbing plot works well. Another small thing I like about this season is we actually see the Rangers get injured in fights every so often. The team-up with Lightspeed Rescue is kind of mediocre. It is only one part. Vipra's acting is still god-awful, especially compared to Ransik's performance. It's just very monotone delivery to some guy that's obviously putting a lot of effort into sounding like a great villain. The plot of the beginning half of the episode really drags, and there is very little character interaction. It's still nice to see the teams fight together, but it just ends up being underwhelming. One problem I must bring up is, it's said that mutants are oppressed and discriminated against in the future, yet in 2 episodes we clearly show mutants from the future that have great jobs and mentioning no disadvantage. So it almost seems like this idea to have them discriminated against was written before these episodes? I don't really understand. As expected, the Time Force finale is very well done. Great action, good character moments, feelings of thematic resolution, etc. I'm sure some people will be disappointed that Ransik surrenders instead of actually being defeated, but it's handled well enough, and in a way it almost makes him seem tougher, that he really couldn't be taken in by force by the Rangers. Then we get a very heartfelt goodbye to the future Rangers, and a confirmation that Wes and Eric will continue to protect the city. Obviously, Time Force comes with full recommendation. It's an immensely engaging series from beginning to end. Standout episodes include Trip Takes a Stand, the Destiny arc, and the finale. Now, before we get to the best season in the franchise, here's a short recap. Number 20, Operation Overdrive. Number 19, Turbo. Number 18, Jungle Fury. Number 17, Samurai. Number 16, Super Samurai. Number 15, Megaforce. Number 14, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 1. Number 13, Mystic Force. Number 12, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 2. Number 11, Zeo. Number 10, Lightspeed Rescue. Number 9, Ninja Storm. Number 8, Wild Force. Number 7, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 3. Number 6, Power Rangers SPD. Number 5, Lost Galaxy. Number 4, Power Rangers RPM. Number 3, Power Rangers in Space. And number 2, Time Force. And now finally, number 1 is...
Alright then, it's morphin' time! Only one more thing to do. Bring them together. You can do it. Okay, let's do it! Yeah!
Logging in. Got it.
Me too!
Combined powers!
It worked!
I said it once, and I'll say it again. Dinosaurs are awesome. Number 1 is Power Rangers Dino Thunder. The suits, theme song, Zords, and Megazords are all awesome. The Rangers this season are all great, feel very realistic, and work well as a team. Connor may start off seeming like too much of a dumb jock, but he develops into a great leader with a surprising layers, who has doubts about being worthy of his power. Ethan is a nerd, though thankfully not much of a stereotype, and some of his drama includes interacting with people from other social groups, as well as some other things. Kira is the musician type, and a lot of her drama comes from not sacrificing who she is for success. She also has a good dynamic with Trent. Trent is my favorite character of this season. His Evil Ranger arc contains the perfect mix of him being a badass and also a very tragic character. Parts of the dynamic between Trent and his father are actually similar to that of Wes and his father from Time Force, but Trent's father never shows, disregard for human life or anything like that. He's just a bit of an elitist who thinks his son should act above the others. Tommy Oliver, yes, the same one from the first 5 seasons, is the mentor and a ranger for this season. While not too complex by himself, having a past ranger as a mentor allows there to be interesting dynamics with the others, especially since Tommy was once evil like Trent. There's even one episode where Tommy must fight all of his past ranger forms. The villains of this season are all great. Mesogog is easily one of the best main villains. I mean, dear God, just his design alone, and his voice, he's powerful, and, conniving, and he wants to take over the world, but he also wants to bring it back to the age of dinosaurs, and he somehow sells this as a very serious, not at all cheesy plan. And the whole, not to spoil much, but he also has one element which is very unique for the franchise. Zeltrax and Elsa are great too. Good designs, decent enough plans, and personalities with different dynamics for some of the Rangers. Mostly Tommy, now that I think about it. The main foot soldiers, the Tyrannodromes, are also pretty cool for foot soldiers. Admittedly, one of the few notable flaws is Zeltrax's return isn't explained too well, and how he acts after it, specifically his motivations for what he is doing, were handled fairly poorly. Speaking of flaws, some of Kira's songs are exactly works of art and can get a tad grating. The comedic relief duo of this season, Cassie and Devin, are very funny and reminiscent of Bulk and Skull from the old Zordon Era days. The Ninja Storm Dino Thunder team-up is great. We get to see how much last season's Rangers have grown, a good amount of character interaction, and a huge battle at the end. We even get a Power Rangers first, with the 2 main villains engaging in physical combat. One more episode I want to mention before we get to the finale is Lost and Found in Translation, a humorous episode that reminds us not to automatically disregard adaptations. Okay, spoilers from here on. The finale of Dino Thunder, while not as epic as some of the other finales, is a very satisfying conclusion to the season. The Rangers launch an all-out attack on Mesogog's base. Trent saves his father. We get an epic battle with Zeltrax's Zord that leads to the destruction of every Zord. Oh yeah, and Elsa is good now. On top of that, a final fight with Mesogog, and Cassie and Devin promising to not expose their secret, and the show ends with senior prom.
And just like that, life goes back to normal.
Our life may be normal, but trust me, they will never be the same.
Now, I do have one small, personal issue with Dino Thunder's finale. Okay, so as soon as Trent is introduced, a mutual attraction between him and Kira is established. And this is continued throughout the season. In various points during and after Trent's, evil Ranger arc. So any person that's not high off their ass would assume that these two would go to the prom together, right? If you're gonna end this season of your show with fucking prom, right? Well, that's not what fucking happens. Neither of them go with anybody. The two comedic relief characters fucking go together. Connor goes with some environmental bitch that was like in one episode. Ethan goes with someone he literally met the episode before. Heck, even Trent's dad gets a dance at prom. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Anyway, Dino Thunder is an excellent season I highly recommend. Good drama and characters, and not too much filler, for those into the darker, more plot-heavy seasons, while still having an overall light-hearted tone and great comedy. It has lots of references and homages to some of the older series, but still stands independent and can be a good place to start, and is most definitely a great series on its own merit, unlike some other season. Once again, high recommendation for Dino Thunder. Do yourself a favor and go on Netflix or something and give it a watch. So, there it is, my top 20 seasons of Power Rangers. The series definitely has had its ups and downs, but overall it has been a lot of fun just watching these series. At the time of my recording, Super Megaforce has come to its disappointing finale, but we have gotten 4 episodes of Dino Charge so far, and it looks pretty good. Plus, we have a Mighty Morphin reboot film slated for release in the summer of 2016, so there is a lot to look forward to as a fan of the Power Rangers franchise. So, thanks for watching my countdown, and
may the power protect you always.